Do you play Rosetta or Eugen in Granblue Fantasy Relink? Have you ever heard this sound? That's not the sound of your PC crashing, but an interaction between Rosetta and Eugen, which I'm going to dub the senior discount, because it's going to cut off at least 10% of the boss's health bar on almost all content. That said, I'm going to show you how to recreate it on the off chance it can be used for speedrunning before KMR decides to glass it with Skyfall himself. Before we begin, I'd recommend checking Enel's Rosetta character guide for the basic details. I'll drop the link in the description if you want to take a quick look. Basically, Rosetta's skill Iron Maiden gives her the buff by the same name which lets her light attacks cause roses to attack. Except, this is outright wrong. Iron Maiden doesn't proc on light attacks, but every hit that lands that comes from Rosetta. Notably, Spiral Rose causes Rosetta to do an AoE around her that hits 10 times. This means that if you're attacking a boss with Spiral Rose while Iron Maiden is up, Rosetta hits 10 times from Spiral Rose, her roses hit 10 times from Spiral Rose, and then her roses hit an additional 10 times from Iron Maiden for a comfy 70 hits from 2 buttons. That sums up the important bits from Enel's video. Here's where we get to the new stuff. Namely, an entirely different character, Eugen. Honestly, Eugen only exists for one thing in this setup: his grenades. Eugen can toss up to 3 grenades that latch onto enemies and surfaces for duration. If he's in sniper mode, these grenades last somewhere in the realm of 20 seconds before automatically detonating, or detonating instantly if they're shot, dealing a respectable chunk of damage. But we don't care about his damage. In fact, we don't want his damage at all. We just want his grenades. You see, it's not just Eugen who can hit his grenades. Everyone can, but only Eugen can detonate them. Which brings us back to Rosetta. If you have an Eugen stick a boss with 3 grenades and then kick back for a couple seconds, that gives Rosetta the opportunity to hit 4 targets at once with Iron Maiden and Spiral Rose. 3 grenades, 3 roses, 10 hits each. Including the original 70 hits from Rosetta's combo, we've jumped from 70 hits to 160 while only using 2 cooldowns. Eugen's DPS suffers because he doesn't get to hit the boss during this time, but the trade-off is that he gets to save cooldowns for later while you almost single-handedly force a phase change. Now that we know how the senior discount works, let's talk about how to actually execute it. To most easily pull this off, Rosetta should plant all 3 of her roses as usual. Once you know the boss is about to sit still, let your Eugen know that you're popping Iron Maiden so that he can change into sniper mode and stick the boss with 3 grenades. As he's doing that, use Rose Tycoon to move all your roses onto the boss and position Rosetta right next to where the grenades are for consistency. Once all the conditions are in place, pop Spiral Rose and watch the game struggle to show the first 2 digits of each of your hits. That about wraps things up. This video was mostly just meant to act as a proof of concept, so excuse me for not going too in-depth. It's a funny little gimmick that'll probably be patched out, so don't get too attached or go too crazy with it in public lobbies. Anyway, that's all from me. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time.